All right, guys, one of the most popular questions is why did I get boobs? Let me take you back to 6th grade where the topic of bra shopping became a hype. And I remember my mom taking me to the store to get my first bra ever, and she was, very excited how I was growing up and, needing a bra. And I remember thinking that I didn't exactly have much to support. So as I was looking around for bras and trying on a 32A, remember I tried it on and it was like empty. So then I asked my mom, what's the point of a bra? It's not supporting anything. I don't think I need one. There's nothing to support. So then I started getting very, very angry at the fact that, you're supposed to, I guess, have a bra, and here I was not really feeling like I needed a bra, and yet everyone at school was starting to wear bras. Then the topic about who stuffs their bra came up at school, and you started to hear everything from like, so-and-so, they use cotton balls. Meanwhile, I was over here like, and the most popular girl at school had boobs. I don't even understand how she got them. She was only 11 years old. When I'd go home, bra commercials would pop up when I'm watching freaking Disney Channel, and I'd get super furious and upset, want to change the channels. And seriously, I could not get away from the boob topic and bras, and it was driving me nuts. There was boobs everywhere. So that was enough to traumatize me, and as I got older, I always had this hidden little girl desire of wanting to have boobs. It took me a while to actually get breasts. But summer after law school, I had graduated, I had passed my bar exam, I was on cloud 9, and I thought, what better time to get boobs? So I got them. Now, one of the most important questions is why did I choose to remove my breast implants, which, by the way, they looked pretty damn good. I was coming up to the 7-year mark, and the FDA recommends to change your implants between 8 to 10 years, since the likelihood of rupture highly increases after that. And I really was at the point of making a decision whether or not I was going to replace them. As I was making this decision, I remembered a good friend of mine who had to remove her breast implants after only having them for 1 year. She got very, very sick. She was practically bedridden. She had rashes and started developing autoimmune disease. I think she got like Lyme, lost a lot of hair, and she had a lot of fatigue. And mind you, this is someone that I actually work out with sometimes. And after hearing about her complications, I was definitely, kind of caught off guard. Here I had someone that I really cared about and telling me that the implants were essentially making her really sick. I started to analyze my own experience with breast implants, and I started to think whether or not I had had anything change in my body or if I noticed anything since I put them in 7 years ago. What came to mind as I sat there was I remembered 1 year after I had placed the implants, I looked in the mirror one time, I was fixing my hair, I was blow drying it, and I felt like no hair in this one spot, and I was like, what? And so then I looked, and I had a quarter-sized bald spot out of nowhere. And I remember frantically going on Google and searching like bald spot, circle, bald spot, and alopecia came up. And apparently I got alopecia. Then after that, I didn't see that again. It went away. And then last year, I got it again, but it was much, much stronger. I didn't have one bald spot, more than a quartered size, but I had 4. I had 4, mind you. I definitely was wearing a hat. I got 4 last year, and with that, I didn't just get the alopecia, I then started having anxiety as well, which I have never experienced anxiety. All of a sudden, anything would just give me anxiety. And I had that for 3 to 4 months where I was getting a lot of anxiety and I had to kind of breathe and speak slower. Then the other thing that happened was, at the same time, this kind of all happened one after another. The other thing that happened was that I started to pee a lot. At night, I was peeing like 4 times. Mind you, I pee usually 0. All of a sudden, I was waking up to pee 4 times during the night. And I went to the doctor, got it all checked out. There was nothing wrong. I got x-rays and ultrasound done on the bladder and on my stomach and on my sides. I was having some pain on my side and nothing, doctor said, there's nothing there. So that is what I took into consideration, as I pretty much was already starting to hear that everything, was working fine. I, decided to not risk it any further. To be honest with you, when you speak to your doctors, and many women will attest to this, when you speak to your doctors, nobody's going to tie any of those symptoms to breast implants. They're just not going to. There's not enough data out there. There isn't any correlation to autoimmune disease or to things just, not working appropriately or to alopecia. You're not going to hear about it. But what you will hear is the stories of each of these individual women. You will hear their story. And by hearing what they have to say about it, it allows you to make your own decision and base it off of all information and not just what you're being told. Well, I had heard my friend's story, and she introduced me to another group online where there's more than 40,000 women, and you will see all types of stories there. People that are very, very sick. Some of them have gotten better after removing the implants. Lyme disease gone, lupus gone, and how do you explain those things? The one change they did is they removed it. So I couldn't justify continuing the rest of my life with these implants. I couldn't find enough of a reason why I would, not heed any of that, ignore it, and, just continue to have them and then have to change them and then have to pay more money for them and then have to make, the FDA requires that you make, well, they don't require it, but they definitely suggest that you do an MRI every 3 years. From the first time you get them, you want to do it 3 years, and then you want to do it every 2 years after that. Do you guys know how expensive MRIs are? Again, all of these things are not something someone that's young really thinks about. I really didn't think about the upkeep or the financial costs. And also, I really didn't think about what would happen if I removed them. So I was really scared. I had gone from a 32 double A to a 32 double D. I had 375 cc's implanted behind the muscle, and I was now making the decision to remove them. I could really use some wine, you guys. So, where do I start? The best place to start, and what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to write a blog with more detailed information, because you guys, there's so much information. I'll tell you where to go, how to find your surgeon, pretty much where do you start, right? How do you want to find the best surgeon? You'll hear something about what's called total capsulectomy. That's when they remove not just the implant, but the entire capsule that surrounds the implant. You want to make sure, if you're concerned about your health at all, that the entire capsule is removed, and there's some doctors that will do it and others won't. So all that information in more detailed fashion will be found on my webpage. For now, I'll highlight the fact that I was mortified about any deformities. Taking a sip on that one. I was mortified about it. I started seeing that some women were left concave, especially when you don't have a lot of breast tissue to begin with. Definitely me. They had been left concave. They had a lot of wrinkly skin. That, of course, to a certain extent, some of that skin will, go ahead and jump back to where it used to be, to a certain extent. Some women needed a lift, others didn't need a lift. I didn't know if I needed a lift, blah, blah, blah. There was so much stuff that was running through my head. I decided not to do a lift. I am generally very, very healthy. I work out a lot, and I was confident that my skin would go back as close as possible to what it used to be, and I am glad to report that that is in fact what happened. I did not need a lift, and it did bounce back. And right now I'm only 10 days post-operation, so I still have a ways to go in my recovery for removing implants that are in your body. The recovery period is 4 to 6 weeks for removing implants that are submuscular. It's close to that, even if it's on top. But I am now barely 10 days. I did have a few complications, which I'm hoping I will not need any type of reconstructive surgery for, but there is a lot of scar tissue that gets formed underneath, where they cut, and it tends to pull your skin. It pulls your skin in, so it can leave creases, and you have to really massage that area. When your doctor clears you, you have to massage, and cupping is known to be very good for that, where, I don't know if you guys have ever had cupping therapy, but it's supposed to help break scar tissue. So I will be starting cupping therapy on my breasts in 30 days. And I'm hoping that with that, it will fix itself, and I will not need another surgery at all. Is what I'm praying for. I really don't want to go under the knife anymore. I am done, done. I'm so done with surgeries, and especially self-elected surgeries. So ladies, if you have not removed your breast implants yet, and you're looking, informing yourself and looking at potentially starting this journey, first of all, I commend you. It is a very, very difficult journey to embark at first, but as you become more informed, it becomes easier and easier. A lot of your fears are fears because you don't know what will happen. I was scared because, heck, I thought I would be left as Frankenstein, and I was mortified about what would happen and whether or not I'd have a complication, etc., etc. But what I can say is, it's so much better that you don't freak yourself out like that, because a lot of results turn out to be favorable. They're not as bad as you imagine it to be. Some women, thought that they would have really wrinkly skin, and at first, although it may be wrinkly, it bounces back. Women that thought they needed a lift, turns out they didn't need one. So some will just go ahead and get the explant first, and then wait to recover 6 months and determine if they need a lift at that point. One consideration would be whether or not you want to have children. If you still want to have children, then potentially you want to consider the lift at a later time. So it's all about getting informed. Don't freak yourself out. Guys, don't freak yourself out. Just start reading. Just read. I will tell you where the support group is online, where the list of recommended surgeons is. I personally did my operation with Dr. Jay Chun. He's located in Newport, California, and he removes the entire capsule. And I recommend him as well. But it's important that you feel comfortable with who you go with. So like I said, just don't freak out. Take it step by step. Don't freak out of things you just don't know. I would suggest that if you've made the decision to remove, that you go ahead and remove, and then take it step by step. See how your outcome is before you freak yourself out, and then take it step by step, just like I have. Although I had freaked myself out, decided I went through with it, and now I know exactly where I stand. I know what area needs more work. And I will keep you guys updated with the progress of that. Like I said, I have scar tissue that has to be broken up, and I don't start cupping therapy until 30 days from now. So I can keep you guys updated as to my journey and whether or not that worked, and whether or not any type of other reconstructive surgery will be needed, and so on and so forth. But first of all, I'm super, happy for you. I think that you're making a great decision. More and more women, there's a trend of more women considering completely removing their implants, and I think that's a wonderful change that we're seeing. And something that I do want to say is that if you have breast implants and you don't care to remove them, that is completely fine. I am not here to belittle anyone that has them. I had them myself, and at some point I loved them and was super happy about them, and I was glad I finally had boobs. So I'm not here to in any way talk down to women or make them feel inferior if they have breast implants. I'm just here to inform women that there's other choices, and even in a different video we can possibly discuss fat transfer. That's definitely a different choice that is kind of up and coming as a way to increase your size if you're very concerned about that. There's other options that are potentially healthier for you than implants. Even when it's saline, the shell of the implant is made out of silicone and has 40 toxic chemicals, and God forbid it actually does, even when it doesn't break, it still leaks microscopically. I've seen the videos. They open up and remove the capsule with the implant, and although it did not rupture, you'll see the video that it's very sticky inside. Inside the capsule, it's very sticky. That means that there's some microscopic leakage of the silicone. And again, I wouldn't be able to tell you whether or not it makes you sick. I can't tell you that. I didn't make the decision myself on whether or not, what I was experiencing had anything to do with that. If anything, I am relatively healthy, 31 years old, relatively healthy, and I was removing it because I was over it. I don't find this to have been a wise decision from my end. I think I was fine. I think I had implanted this little seed when I was very little, and I realized, no, I don't actually need any boobs. Heck, I can be flat. Like, it's totally cool. The hype is just, who cares? Live your life. Live your best life. Freak. Go get a drink. Like, breasts aren't everything, guys. Like, we have more to offer than boobs. Make sure you add me on Instagram at Kat Vascones and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can help me share this message. Say no to breast implants.